All right, so what we are doing today in Tractor Supply is the CGC test. So I'm just running through with Simon the test and doing part one, which is accepting a friendly stranger. That's me without petting him, and I just have to be able to go up to the owner and shake hands without Simon jumping up on me or doing anything like that. And then the second part of the test is I'm going to come up to the person working Simon and asking if I can pet their dog. And when she says yes, I'll crouch down, I'll pet Simon, and he can't bite me or jump on me or do anything like that, on which he didn't. He was really good about that. I went into the third part of the test, which was appearance and grooming. I had to be able to look at his ears, look at his teeth, touch his paws without him reacting or shying away or doing anything like that. And Simon passes with flying colors. So the fourth part of the test that we go into is just going out for a walk. So Simon pretty much just has to walk with Abby without pulling excessively, and you have to do a couple like left turns, right turns, a roundabout, and be able to stop. So keep in mind, this is the first time that we've ran through this test with Simon, and he does pretty decent with it for us just being able to run through it. Honestly, I wouldn't say I was necessarily surprised. I knew he would do a really fantastic job, but I was just like, wow, he really crushed it. So here, we're just doing out for a walk. He just has to stay with Abby and do a couple turns and just stay with her. If he ever gets in front or hits the end of the leash, he just has to feel the pressure and come back. If Abby had to give him a little bit of a leash correction or anything like that, he would have failed the test. Now, when she asked him to stop when she does this turnabout, she did have to give him a little bit of a leash pressure to be like, nope, I need you to stop. So that was just something that he would have to work on, is just being like a little more attentive. Now, this is if somebody's doing the test, and it all depends on how strict your person is taking the test. But again, Simon did really well. So this fifth part of the test, he's going to pretty much walk through a crowd. Tractor Supply really wasn't all that busy. So, again, we're just trying to find people that we can walk by and stuff like that. So really what we're looking for here is, when walking through a crowd, is he just can't pull towards people or shy away or lunge at anybody or do anything like that. He really just has to stay in that bubble space with Abby. And again, he can't be like pulling or anything like that. She shouldn't have to give him any leash corrections or anything. He should just be walking right with her. Simon does a really good job with this. He's able to walk by some people and be very successful with that. So like you can see him here, he kind of like avoids them, which is okay. Like, he's still walking with Abby. So I wouldn't really mark him for that. I think he does a pretty good job at walking by these people without excessively wanting to go say hi or, barking or anything like that. Simon's honestly really good. So that was the fifth part of the test. Now the sixth part is he has to be able to do a sit and a down on command. So we'll go through here, and what we'll do is I'll have Abby go down at the end of this aisle, and she's going to ask Simon to sit, and then she's going to ask him to down, and then he has to be able to stay. Now, it's to their preference, whatever command you want him in, whether it's in a sit or a down, and he just has to stay there. Now, while we are doing this, Abby does have treats on her, and she is giving Simon treats for this. So when you're actually taking the test, no treats or tools can be used. It's just a leash and a flat collar. But again, this is our first time doing this with Simon, so I'm totally fine with treats being used, because we're just working him and training him through this. So yeah, Abby goes and puts him into a sit. He does that well. Then puts him in a down, does that well. Now, she put him in a down for the stay, and he did pop up into a sit. So depending on who runs the test for you. That could either be you have to redo that. For me, it was he still stayed in that spot, and then as she walked back, he did go back into a down. So I'd say that was pretty responsive to that. Now we go into the 7th part of the test where it's coming when called. So she went and put him into a stay, came back, called him. Simon did great, passed that with flying colors. Now we're going to do the 8th part of the test, the 8th part of the test, where it's reacting to another dog. I do have his brother here, where you just have to be able to walk by. So this is person to person, and dogs are on our left side, and Simon does great. He just can't like lunge over or like actively try to get over to the other dog. This part is dog to dog, which is a little harder. Theo actually walked over and tried to say hi to Simon. Simon actually kept walking, so he did really great with this. Again, it's really just having basic manners, being able to walk by another dog without being crazy is really what we're looking for here, and Simon did really great. So now we go into the 9th part of the test, which is reaction to distraction. So I just looked in the store and was like trying to find something random that he's never seen before. I use this metal sign, and what I'm doing is I'm just kind of making it make sound on the floor and whatnot. And like really, Simon can show interest and he can smell it, but he can't shy away from it. He can't lunge at it. He can't bark at it. It's really just, what is this object? And you can see that he's interested, but then he's like, meh, I'm kind of good, which is fine. Like, I think his response was pretty reasonable, being that he's like, what is this thing that you're banging on the floor? Now we're going to go into the 10th part of the test, which is the last part, which is supervised separation. The handler just has to pass off their dog and disappear for 3 minutes. And it's essentially just saying, my dog doesn't have separation anxiety from me and can be calm. And Simon did absolutely wonderful with this. He's like, oh, handler's gone. Good job, Simon.